So my very first book was released on March the 7th, 2017, which incidentally was the 10th anniversary of Paul Sykes passing. Um, Inside that book, Sykes and Finished Agony, there was a very humorous Middlesbrough-based story that John Spencer told me on Paul Sykes and what happened in Middlesbrough. So John used to own a snooker hall in Middlesbrough called In Off the Park, and Paul Sykes was in there frequently, a hell of a lot. Um, 89, 90, 91, 92. And basically he had barmaids packing in because he'd be kind of pulling the barmaids saying, "Yeah, my mate owns this pub, so like, don't be robbing him." And he, he had customers terrified of, Paul actually caught one bloke by the neck because he was behind the till and said, "What you doing? This is John's. This is my." And the bloke was like, "I'm just getting my snooker cue." So there was people when we were bringing John Spencer saying that big man isn't in is with the tash. They didn't want to go because he was a scary character. So there was a barmaid in there nicknamed Queen Victoria, Lady Victoria, and she had a very famous, well-known, not famous, kind of infamous if you like, a very well-known Middlesbrough hardcase as a boyfriend. Had the money, had a huge name in Middlesbrough, and he would come in and buy her bottles of champagne, and on his shift, do you know what I mean? So she'd be like sat at the bar drinking Moet or Bollinger, and this kind of wealthy guy would be looking after, and this Lady Victoria was really kind of stuck up, always full of makeup, quite old as well. When I say old, Sykes was always for the younger girls, and really did not like middle age, like kind of 40s, and so Sykes would always kind of clock her, sat not doing any work, and I'm just trying to remember bits of the book, and anyway, Paul would often kind of have a go there, and say, "Get some work done, you fat cow," and "Isn't it about time you've done some work for John and that?" And he would kind of say some nasty things to her, so much so that one day, this lady, Queen Victoria, went home really upset, and obviously told her fella. And the next thing, the Middlesbrough Hard case has rang John and said, "Hey, you, I'm going to come down your club and thrash that bloke. Who is he? Does he know who I am?" And he had absolutely no idea who he was kind of talking about. The last thing John wanted to do was this guy to come in and commit suicide into his club. And he said, "Well, actually, mate, and he told him a little bit of who Paul Sykes was. And I think the guy in the end said, "Well, look, it's your club. You need to sort him." Obviously I'm not going to name the guy, but that was he was in a lot. I mean, when he released his book Sweet Agony in 1990. I'm just trying to. So Duffy got out of prison in May 1990. So this was early 1990, and I think Sykes was back in, kind of because him and Duffy, they always kind of miss each other, if you like. I know Sykes was in Teesside a hell of a lot, but it was when Duffy was away, 88, 89, come out 1990, then Sykes went in, then obviously Lee died 91, but they did meet very briefly about a month before he died. I think I've told that in the past, but that was a story of the very stuck-up barmaid, the Boro hard case, and Paul Sykes in Middlesbrough, which he did actually really was very, very familiar. He would drink in the welly, which was at the John had a pub, so obviously it was the Wellington Boxing Club now. I think John Spencer kind of gave it to John Dryden in about 83, 84 maybe. Certainly the mid-80s, and obviously it was a welly then, but it was John's place before then. That was where the likes of Howard Mills, Reg Long, the Feeney brothers, Neil Malpass, did all train. You know, it was a right little camp, Maxie Smith and all that, a little setup of pros, and yeah, the guy with the big rep in Middlesbrough didn't have any idea who this Paul Sykes was, and almost come in and committed suicide.